Hey everyone, my name is Dimatendi. In this video I'll show you how to create the lighting effect you saw at the beginning. You can use it in music video, art project and cinematics. The tutorial is simple and straight to the point, so let's not waste time, let's go! So we're inside the project. First we need to do a 3D track, so duplicate the original footage. Create a pre-compose using Ctrl-Shift-C. For convenience, rename the comp and open it. Inside the pre-comp, apply the 3D camera tracker effect to the layer and wait for it to analyze. To improve the tracking result, I recommend deleting track points on moving object like the girl. Select those points and delete them. You can see the result here. The lower the number, the better the tracking quality. Once the tracking is finished, select the points on this column. Right click and choose Create Solid and Camera. This will create a 3D layer. For convenience, I recommend always renaming created objects so you don't get confused later. Create another object on the ground and name it ground. A small life hack. For easier viewing, I add the grid effect to 3D layer. It makes everything much clearer. Great, we're done with tracking. Now let's move to creating the lighting effect. For this, exit the pre-comp back to the main composition, duplicate the original layer, then create a new pre-compose. Rename it as shown on screen and open it. Duplicate the composition once again. For convenience, I recommend renaming it right away as you see on the screen. Double click it and create a roto brush. After you're done with the roto brush, for better organization, change the roto brush layer color to purple. On the actual video layer, right click and choose guide layer. What is a guide layer? A guide layer is a helper reference layer. It is visible only inside the current composition, but does not appear in the parent composition and is not included in the final render. Simply put, it's a layer for you, not for the viewer. A very handy feature, definitely use it. Let's move on. Now we'll need our 3D tracking, so go into the pre-comp where we did the tracking. Copy the camera and 3D layer from there and paste them into the pre-comp where we'll be creating the lighting effect. I also be using the lightning pack in this video, so if you want the same lighting effect, you can get them via the link in the description.
Love you, baby truck.
After adding that lightning footage to the timeline, change its blending mode to screen and make that layer a 3D object so it exists in 3D space. Next, move the lightning footage to the location of the column. To do this, hold Shift, select it with the lasso tool and drag it to the 3D column layer we renamed earlier. Then unlink it and you'll see it's positioned correctly in 3D space. After that, reset the scale by pressing S, next scale and rotate the lightning so it looks like it's hitting the girl. For convenience, I recommend slightly darkening the video using the exposure effect. This makes it easier to work with the lightning and helps it stand out against the background. Also, for better organization, rename the lightning footage on the timeline. Duplicate it and optionally change its color, for example to blue, so everything looks more structured. Next we need to add another lighting footage. Select the duplicate layer, then hold Alt and drag the new footage from the library onto the duplicate lightning layer. This will replace it. Scale and move the lightning so it looks like it's behind the girl. Here's how it looks so far. Next we need to mask this lightning so it stays behind the girl. Select the lightning layer, take the special lasso tool and drag it onto the roto brush we created before. Then enable invert and you'll see the lightning is now behind the girl. After that, use the mask to remove any unnecessary parts of the lightning. Press M to open the mask setting, check invert and now the lightning appears properly behind the girl. Using the same principle, create a mask for the first lightning, which is in front, to simulate its passing through the body. This time you'll need to animate the mask. So press M to open the mask setting and click the stopwatch next to mask path. Animate it so looks like the lightning is moving through the body. As we can see, the lightning behind the girl disappear over time. To make the front light fade out, use opacity, press T, click the stopwatch, set a keyframe here, then bring it to 0 at the desired point. And as we can see, everything worked perfectly. Next, apply the tint effect to the lightning itself to make it white. Alright, I like how it looks. Now go back to the main composition. Change the lightning layers blending mode to add. For extra flair and to enhance the overall vibe, you can also add some small sparks. You can download this from my pack via the link in the description and use them in your own videos. Using the same principle as with the lightning, add the amber effect. Scale it and tweak it a bit using tint extract and colors to reduce the number of sparks. Overall, it's look really cool. Go back to the main composition, apply the tint effect to the lightning layer and color it blue. The lightning is almost done, so now we move on to color grading our original footage. Duplicate the original footage again and create a pre-compose. I recommend copying the pre-comp with the lightning, then opening the newly created pre-comp and pasting the copied one inside it. Set the lightning effect pre-comp to get layer. Remember what that is. Next, add the exposure effect to the layer and lower the exposure to about this level. Add the tint effect and apply a slight color tone as shown on screen. After that, copy the 3D tracking we made earlier and paste it here. Now we need to make the column a bit brighter. Using the Ctrl-Alt-Y, create an adjustment layer. Rename it to CC for convenience and make it a 3D layer. Using the lasso tool while holding shift. Attach it to the column's 3D layer, then detach it. Scale the layer, add a mask and apply the exposure effect to this same layer. Increase the exposure slightly to create a smooth transition. Press F to adjust the mask feathering and as you can see it looks really clean. Next I also make the girl a bit brighter, so she stands out and draws attention. Copy the roto brush we made earlier and paste it into our color correction pre-comp. Create an adjustment layer, then use the track matte from the adjustment layer to the roto brush layer so it only affects the area covered by the roto brush. To smooth the edges, apply a fastbox blur to the roto brush and add a little blur. Add the exposure effect to the adjustment layer and increase the girl's brightness. Next, I slightly darken the ground. Create another adjustment layer, make it a 3D layer and attach it to the 3D ground layer from the 3D tracking we did earlier. Detach it, scale the layer, add a mask, feather it, then apply the exposure effect to darken the ground, and this gives something like this. Alright guys, they're just a little left, so let's keep going. Apply to the optical glow effect to the lightning or any other glow effect you have. Set the parameter roughly like I have them. Next our task is to create realistic lighting. To create a depth map we'll use the depth scanner plugin. Duplicate our color correction layer and apply the depth scanner plugin to it. Set the parameters roughly I have them. After that we need to do a pre-render. Set the render setting. Once the effect layer is rendered, you can safely delete it. Add the depth layer to the timeline, duplicate the original footage and create a pre-compose of these two layers. Rename the pre-comp as shown on screen. After the composition is created, apply the levels effect to the depth map layer and adjust it to isolate just the girl and the foreground of the image. For convenience, move it to the bottom of the composition. Color it purple. After that, select the regular footage layer and use the track matte to link to the depth map, creating a mask. In the settings, make sure the mask only affects the lighting areas. Next, add the tint effect to the footage, follow it immediately by levels and adjust the setting roughly like I have them. And now we need to add a few more important touches. Exit the pre-comp back to the main project. Duplicate the lightning effect layer, rename it as shown on screen. Remove the glow, then add fastbox blur, exposure and optical glow, setting the parameters roughly like I have them to achieve the desired look. Then link this layer using the track matte to the depth map we created and adjust earlier. Select the settings so the effect only reads the bright areas. And here's what we get. As you can see, the lightning now looks much more realistic, as if it's actually part of the footage. As a final touch, I'd like to add a flares effect to make it look much realistic and visually appealing. So duplicate the main footage once again and create a pre-compose. Rename it the same way I have it. Copy the 3D tracking we made earlier and paste it into the pre-comp. Copy the lightning layer and set it as a guide layer. Create a solid using Ctrl Y, then add the Optical Flares plugin. Choose the flare that you like the most. Change the Lightning Flare layer's blending mode to add. Next, create a lightning source using Ctrl Shift Alt L, press P and click the stopwatch to keyframe it. And in the plugin setting, set source type to track light and animate its position to follow the end of the lightning. And that is everything is ready.
Я извиняюсь, я хочу...
And here we have the effect. It looks really cool overall. The only thing left is some color grading and minor finishing touches, which I'll add now. If you want me to make a tutorial on how to achieve the same color grading and finishing touches I use it, let me know in the comments. And I'll definitely make a video on it soon. And here's our final video. It looks even more realistic, cooler and more cinematic. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and since this is my first video, leave a comment telling me what you think and what I could improve. I'm Dimatendi, thank you everyone for watching, good luck to all and see you the next time.